One thing that's often very surprising to members of the Latin Church when they come to an Eastern church is to see babies in arms receiving Holy Communion. Since in the Latin tradition that is not given until the young child is in grammar school, this is very, very surprising. In the Eastern Church, things are done somewhat differently. They are going back to the more ancient traditions. In the ancient church, you were first baptized, then you were chrismated, which is anointed with holy oil, which in the Latin Church is referred to as confirmation, and then you would be receiving Holy Communion. This is very different than it is currently in the Western tradition. The reason the change occurred was in the Western Church there was a separation because the bishops were the ones who gave the chrismation, the confirmation. Because of the size of the diocese, it became more and more difficult for that to be done immediately at the time of the baptism. Because of that, a separation grew between baptism and receiving confirmation. The reason why there was the change with communion is later on during the Middle Ages, for various reasons, they no longer gave the general faithful the Holy Cup. Because of that, since that was what was usually given to very young children because of safety issues, they no longer received communion. Over time, traditions grew up as for the reason why that occurred. But originally, it was a fairly pragmatic situation based on safety. In the Eastern Church, we have never had the separation of these receiving of these three in our tradition. Now, one difference is, in the Western Church, you have the bishop bestowing confirmation. In the Eastern Church, the way that's handled is the bishop is the one who blesses the holy oil that is used for our chrismation. That way there is still the contact, there's still the link between the individual and the bishop. There is still that spiritual link that is maintained in both the Eastern and the Western traditions.